we're committed to offering new and surprising ways for our audience to interact with their PS5. But none of this means anything without great games and diverse ways to play. Today, we're looking ahead to titles coming later this year and beyond with extended gameplay and announcements we hope you find as exciting as we do here at PlayStation. Enjoy the show.
Alright guys, welcome to today's video. Thank you for watching. Do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button. That helps grow and support the community here on YouTube. If you enjoy the content about the gaming industry and PlayStation news, rumors and leaks, please consider subscribing or becoming a channel member. So starting off with Sony PlayStation adding a new studio to its partner program, which may have gone under the radar over the weekend.
Welcome to the family, son.
So Istanbul-based Shadowfall Studio has announced that it's an official PlayStation partner. The indie developer has currently been working on a new debut project codenamed Project Daron, which has caught the attention of Sony PlayStation. Over the past few years, PlayStation has been actively increasing its efforts to find game development partners from across the world, including China, India, and South Korea. Sony PlayStation launched hero projects in countries like China and India, and most recently across the continent of Africa to discover and fund promising game developers. Thanks to the program, games like Lost Soul Aside have been able to get off the ground. The PlayStation Partner Program is no different, supporting indie developers by allowing them to have PS5 dev kits and allowing them to self-publish on the PlayStation Store and helping them market the games on a larger scale to a bigger audience. The PlayStation Partners Program has produced excellent games over the years, including the Power Wash Simulator, Kenna Bridge of Spirits, and Returnal, and with Returnal leading to PlayStation acquiring the developer Housemarque. Now, Shadowfall Studio announced on Twitter that it's the latest PlayStation partner and that it will launch its next big game exclusively on the PS5. The studio is located in Istanbul in Turkey, and the studio is working on a co-op action game codenamed Project Daron. Shadowfall Studio's official website offers more insight into the game, stating that it's based on a Turkish mythology and features a villain protagonist who will fight shamans and occasional gods, and it sounds very, very interesting. The game story is designed around a two-player co-op. A single-player functionality will also be available, possibly with a friend or a friendly AI character from a co-op perspective. Gameplay-wise, Shadowfall Studio claims that the project will have a fast-paced hybrid combat system which allows the player to string together magical melee abilities simultaneously, as well as having a crafting system to enhance the player's arsenal of weaponry. The website also mentions a complex AI system that seemingly supports both offensive and stealth-driven approaches to gameplay. The game appears to be a first-person shooter, which is really interesting, and the studio has received a substantial amount of attention thanks to its PlayStation partnership announcement and confirmed that a gameplay reveal trailer of the game is going to be happening in the coming days, possibly at the Summer Game Festival or an upcoming Sony PlayStation event. Many PlayStation fans are excited to learn more about the action title thanks to its unique Turkish mythology setting, which has rarely been explored across the video game industry. The first-person magic melee hybrid game also seems really interesting. Whatever it may look like, PlayStation bringing Shadowfall Studio on board as a partner clearly speaks to the potential of the game, and fans should definitely keep an eye on the newfound studio. It's great to see Sony invest in new studios from across the world, giving us new IP and new gameplay styles with each one of these new games. Kenna Bridge of Spirits was excellent, as was Returnal, and let's hope we get some gameplay at the upcoming Game Fest event, showing us what Shadowfall Studio are currently working on. Okay, let's move on. The Xbox Showcase is getting closer and closer. More leaks and rumors of games being announced at the showcase are likely to surface. On top of the Black Ops 6 leaks, a new report from Insider Gaming claims that the next game from ID Software will be the Doom Dark Ages game, and the sci-fi shooter will be set during the medieval times. The report claims that the game will be revealed at the upcoming showcase, and that the Year Zero title previously attached to ID's next game was actually a placeholder for an alleged 4-year plus development period, and this seems to be that game. Regardless of the changing settings, Insider Games alleges that Dark Ages was described to them as being a medieval-inspired Doom world. It could mean a whole lot of changes for the Doom guys' arsenal, and that the Dark Ages could take the chaotic first-person action series that it's known for into a fresh direction. What's more, however, is that a YouTuber called Nate the Hate, who is reliable to some degree, he corroborates the report and also adds that Dark Ages will indeed be coming to the PS5 on launch. And if this is correct, it's not entirely impossible that we see Dark Ages attempting to stand out among the rest of the series with more in in-depth melee combat than the series has ever had before. It's also fascinating to know that the game is coming to PS5 at launch because this is a studio owned by ZeniMax, which is owned by Microsoft, so it's a first-party studio. So regardless of what people say, there were supposedly meant to be only 4 games coming to PlayStation. Now we're getting an Xbox first-party game being released, potentially, according to the rumors, day and date onto PlayStation. All of this, of course, is a rumor, and it's not being confirmed. Nothing from ID or from Microsoft right now. Guess we'll find out soon enough in a couple of weeks' time. But if it is true, then those rumors a few weeks back where people were suggesting that more Microsoft games are coming to PlayStation obviously appears to be true. So let's move on to some really disappointing news. We finally got an official confirmation that this year's Call of Duty title would indeed be the Call of Duty Black Ops 6. We also know that we won't have to wait very long to find out more about this year's game because the long-running franchise will be shown at the Microsoft event, but there will also be a very specific event after the general showcase highlighting more about the Black Ops game. The fact that we're going to get more information soon and we're going to get a bunch of official information from Microsoft is great, but it hasn't stopped the leaks, and the latest seemingly comes from a GameStop employee who reveals that Black Ops 6 will be releasing on the PS4 as well as the PS5. I mean, can you believe that? Call of Duty is coming to PS4 in 2024. So there's an image that's been posted to Reddit which shows an email which is photographed, and it lists the SKU, right, the versions of the game coming out for Black Ops 6 to be pre-ordered. And one of the listings on this SKU, or the SKU, is for the PS5. One of the SKUs is the Xbox Series X, and the other one is for a PS4. This is arguably the most revealing leak so far to date, because knowing that it was made to run on previous gen hardware implies Treyarch won't have made an effort to push the technical boundaries with this year's game. The fact that it's releasing on the PS4 doesn't necessarily mean we won't see features only accessible on PS5 and next gen platforms. So having different feature sets for what's available on the platform you're on, we seem to see that a lot, right? You can have features available for your new console and those features are not available for the previous console. But it's not also entirely surprising that the previous generation will continue to be supported, following reports that the PS4 community still represents half of this year's entire base of PlayStation gamers. As we head into the 4th year of the console generation, the question still remains, will this be the final one for PS4 and last gen console support? Only time will tell, but it's incredibly frustrating having invested in a PS5 and we're still getting games on the PS4. I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand with over 120 million PS4 still out there and still selling, I get why you want to support that player base, but what's the point in getting a PS5 if studios are not 100% committed to developing for next gen? You know the game is held back, yeah? There may be features on the PS5 that are not available on the PS4, but the way the game is developed, the way the maps are designed, the level design, the game architecture still has last gen at its heart. It still has to be based on the weakest link, and that weakest link is console hardware that came out in 2013. I mean, it is quite frankly unbelievable. 11-year-old hardware still being supported for next gen games in 2024. The sooner we leave last gen behind, the quicker we can see games take the leap into the modern console generation. Really disappointed, gotta tell you, so disappointing to hear this. Of course, it's all based on a rumor, but then if that rumor is true, it's incredibly disappointing. So let's move on to some more positive and exciting news. Astrobot went from being a launch title with the PlayStation's first step into VR, that was the PSVR 1, into a full-blown mascot for the PlayStation, beginning with the rescue mission success and being cemented in praise for Astro's Playroom, the pre-installed game bundled in with the PS5. Arguably, you could say it's the most popular game, as 60 million players have been able to play it for free. It's still amazing to consider that that bundled in game meant to show and highlight all the new things of the PS5, doubled not only as a great game, but also one of the best 3D platformers we've seen in the last decade. All of this considered, Astrobot is primed to get a new entry in the saga, and according to prominent leaker Bill Kun, that's exactly what is going to happen. Bill Kun claims in their latest report that not only is Astrobot's game well on its way, we could also be seeing it over the next few days. That suggests the game could be showed at a massive audience watching the Summer Game Fest in June, which also fits around the time that PlayStation has done its own showcases in previous years, which, considering now that we're in the last week of May, is looking increasingly unlikely to happen, at least in May anyway. It's more realistic that we're going to see something at the Summer Game Fest for the new Astrobot game. We're in the final stretch ahead of the Summer Game Fest now, with it being a couple of weeks away and the tsunami of announcements yet to come. It's always at this point that we get an absolute ton of games, ton of announcements and new trailers. Bill Kun has proven to be a reliable source across a variety of topics, including the Days of Play sale at PlayStation, and most recently they leaked the cover art for Call of Duty Black Ops 6 just ahead of the official reveal. So quite reliable in terms of what Bill Kun puts out there onto various platforms with leaks and rumors. So with any luck, this Astrobot game, the new game, is happening, and we'll find out more about the game and the latest adventure over the next few days. The Astrobot game, which came with the PS5, absolutely absolute cracking game, and by all means the VR game was one of the best games on the PSVR 1, so with any luck the rumour is hopefully true and we'll get to see new gameplay, new trailer reveal, the next Astrobot platformer on the PS5. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments about today's topic. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.